What is going on? I'm N64Josh, and this is another episode of streamer tips. I guess that's what we're gonna call it. All right? I don't know. We don't have to give it a name, but we're talking streaming tips, content creation tips, whatever. We're doing this like a live call-in show. I'm gonna grab Anytizer from the waiting room right now, throw him in Discord with me, and we're gonna see what his question is. We're gonna talk about his stream and things like that. Let's see how this goes. Anytizer, what's up, dude?
Not much, man. How you been?
Hey, it's working. That's good. I've been good. I've been good.
Well, that's great, man. That really is.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So I tried to put you on the spot last week for this, and it just didn't work out. But today, it has worked.
Yeah, redemption. Let's get it.
Yeah. So let's first of all, I'm doing this on twitch.tv/N64Josh on Mondays if you guys want to come check it out. Anytizer, where can people find your content?
So it used to be Ghost House PGH, but I've taken a step back from that and now starting to stream under Anytizer1989. So twitch.tv/Anytizer1989.
Okay, how the stream's been going?
I've just been messing around here and there. Starting to get a little more comfortable now. I just have to figure out OBS and all the workarounds and this, that, and the other.
Oh, the good stuff. The good stuff. Okay.
Exactly.
What's your question for me today?
All right. So let me see here. So I kind of jotted a few down. So I know you want to keep it to 15 minutes. So let me just get one of the better ones here.
Yeah, we can go as long as we need to. We'll see.
All right. Well, so just starting out like myself and other content creators out there, what would you say for equipment wise? Like, obviously you need the computer and the stream card, but would you say it's better to have like a standalone microphone? Are there benefits to that? Is there I don't want to say like, can you limit yourself to just like a headset like what I'm using? Or stuff like that. Like, what would be the optimal stuff to use tech wise?
So this is a good question. And here's what happens with a lot of people. They will wait until they get certain pieces of gear before they start making content. No, start right now. If you're streaming with a headset, you're doing it right, my friend. Some people are going to start without a webcam. You just got to do what you could do. Okay. If you want, like, I would say, like, I started just with a, oh man, my setup for a while, I kid you not, so I could record podcasts and everything else. I had like a Yeti on one side. I had the mic I'm using now on the other side. Like, I couldn't get things to split and separate. It was crazy for a while. So here's the thing. If you're just making content, you're just streaming. Okay, you're just streaming. I would get a Yeti, preferably like the Blue Yeti, just because it's a decent sound quality. There is I think there's the Yeti Nano now, which has also got decent sound quality. It's like $89. Snowball is last resort for microphone. Or use a headset. I mean, I could use my Astros right here, and they sound okay. They sound fine. All right. Get started with your minimal viable product. Whatever you have that you can get started with is what I recommend, right? So if a headset mic, whatever the case is, get started. From there, you want to start thinking about audio quality, and video quality improves drastically even with a cheap camera, just with lighting.
Okay.
Right? So if you're using your headset right now, it's going to work for you. It's great. Don't worry about it. When you want to finally upgrade, yeah, get into Blue. It depends on the kind of content you want to make too. Strictly streaming, getting into like with just a Blue microphone, things like that, you're good. Even what we're doing right now, I could do with the Blue microphone. I'm not recording in my audio into like GarageBand or Audacity if you're on PC. And so like, I'm pulling your audio right into OBS. If I wanted to take this audio to make a podcast out of it, I could throw it on a website called aphonic.com, and it would spit out the MP4 and the MP3, and then I could upload the audio to Podbean or whatever I used. So there's a lot you can do with just a single mic before you have to get like a mixer and things like that.
Okay. Alrighty. because I feel like that kind of uh, is like a roadblock for some people. Like for me, I went and kind of when I just started out, I was trying to use multiple headsets from like cheap ones, couldn't get those to work, and when I finally found something decent, uh I figured I'd stick with it, and that's kind of where I was getting at with, if you find something that works, do you stick with it, or do you upgrade? And with that, you kind of answered the one of my other questions while you were talking about audio, using what was it, phonic, you were saying?
Yep, a phonic.
So that was the other part. Let's say you have all your stuff, or you at least have a stream card, and you have your headset, and you're ready to rock and roll. What do you use? Do you use OBS? Do you use Streamlabs? Let's say you want to get into podcast. You kind of answered a little bit with the phonic, um, but are there any other uh, resources out there? So to get you moving in the right direction as far as what you want to do specifically with your content, like what do you use to stream? Are you using OBS, Streamlabs, or are you using the Elgato capture client that you can use with Twitch?
So I'm using OBS because of being on a Mac. Elgato does have decent software that you can use as well, I believe. Um, I've just used OBS for so long. It's what it's what I'm used to. It's what I stick with. And so, but Streamlabs I hear is good, but I've heard it's kind of through some updates, it's kind of gone downhill a little bit. But that's just hearsay, so I don't have any hands on with it. Excuse me. I would say
Okay.
just use what you're used to or what you like. Either get used to one of them, just stick with it for a while, or play with a handful of them if you're starting out and see if one um, feels good or not.
Alrighty. Okay. Because I before I was using Streamlabs OBS, and I had it was rocky to start, and then I don't know, I just find it OBS personally is a little easier for me to figure out how to use.
Yeah, it's just gonna boil down to personal preference. Like, I mean, right now,
Yeah.
because my setup is my computer uh, is good enough. I can stream and record at the same time and record audio separately, and so uh, because of that, OBS does the trick, right? It's doing the trick. So, um, yeah, the and as far as your other question, like when to upgrade your gear, that's going to be based on like how far you want to take this and how, what what are your long-term goals, and did you reach affiliate, and are you making a monthly paycheck, and are you just reinvesting it back in the stream, things like that.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I do have a
Um.
quick question from the chat here. It says, what is more important for video quality, the capture card or the computer? So that's a good question. I believe you're you're going to want to have a computer that's decent at at least as far as stream smoothness. That's going to be somewhat dictated by your internet, your bit rate, and I believe uh they are crawlers answering the question too. Video quality will be bit rate and a strong CPU, which is exactly what I was getting to. So, um, yeah, it's not like you're going to be like needing a high end graphics card, things like that for streaming. It's the CPU that you're going to need. So, and I think RAM always helps as well. Any Tizer, what else you got for us, buddy?
Let's see. Um. I guess this one would be this is pretty much the end of what I came up with. So let's say end game. You have you're streaming, you have your social media stuff up and running, and you're out there. Let's say you start getting into game reviews, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like first looks, like what you do. What are the limitations when you get that review code? Like, I know that's a gray area for myself, and I'm sure there's other people that aren't sure. Like, what can you talk about? What can you show before the game comes out? Like, I know there's those embargoes, but what exactly is that? And I know it's something I could just Google, but figured I'm talking to the man, the myth, the legend. Might as well, go for it.
Yeah, so I mean, embargoes are going to be basically what you're allowed to show, what you're not allowed to show. So I believe there are certain games. I can't remember which one off the top of my head, but you're only allowed to stream like 2 levels of it. And somebody in chat might know what it is, but if you stream past that, they will. I don't know what the consequences are, but they don't want people streaming the story past a certain point. When a oftentimes when a game is street dated, there's also the embargo is going to be around that same time. Like you might hear that like, hey, the review embargo is up, so the reviews can go live, like on a Tuesday, like on a Switch game, and then the game can come out Friday. And then
Okay.
sometimes people get nervous if they're like, man, the embargo is the same day as the release day. Why is that? Is it a bad, is the game going to be bad or whatever? So, Persona 5, I believe, was the game that you can only stream the first few levels. So as far as what you can do, like, because I stay pretty busy, and especially when I was really in the thick of it and getting a lot of review codes and things like that, I didn't have time to sit and play a game long enough to review it. So I would tell these companies ahead of time, hey, I can do a first look, I can put it on my YouTube channel, I can put an article on my website, and I can stream it for a little while and then talk about it on the podcast. And those are that is how, because essentially they're just looking for coverage for their game, right? At the end of the day, that's what they're looking for. Now, I want to try to do enough so that it was valuable for everybody that's consuming my content, right? And so I've been able to review some games, and reviews are what get the best, SEO juice and things like that. But it's tough. A lot of it's like my first looks are all about like, did it grab me in the first like 15 minutes, right? First half hour, things like that. So that's kind of what I'm about.
Okay.
And just be upfront with them, you know. If they're expecting you to do a review, like just tell them, hey, I don't have time to review, but I will do some coverage. Or maybe you can, like because I have a podcast, I might interview a dev or something like that.
Right. Well, that pretty much answers everything
Cool. What's your next step?
I guess the next step for me is just putting more out there. I mean, like I said, I went from one name to actually using any advertiser now because that's what everybody here knows me as.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot of it was taking a step back, thinking about what exactly I want to do, and yeah, it's starting to just kind of come to me. You know what I mean? Like you can sit there and think about it all you want, but until you have that like aha moment, and I don't know, I feel like I finally have that. Things are starting to work in my favor, and I'm just ready to put more out there.
What was the aha moment for you? What is it that you're gonna do?
So, talking with one of the members in your community, Cole, was talking to him about like he writes for Infendo Radio. Now, I kind of was like, how did you get into doing that? Like, that's pretty cool. You get to play games and write about it. Like who would want to do that? And he just said he kind of went for it. So I was just thinking about it. Doing that would be something I'd be into.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to play the game, share my thoughts on it, even if it's not streaming, I can still get myself out there and what I'm trying to deliver to whoever wants to read it. And so that's why when you were saying you were looking for a writer or writers, I'm like, yeah, let's give me a shot. So that was kind of my aha moment. It was like, yeah, I can stream till the cows come home, but I mean, it's more of a how can I broaden my horizons? And I feel to me, jumping into writing on gaming is my first step.
Cool. That's great, man. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm excited. You hit me up earlier and said you had a preview written for the game we're going to be looking at today. These hypercharged unbox. You guys can see it on the screen right there. And so, yeah, yeah, we're gonna. I've slowly been adding people to the contributor list on the website, and that allows people to get in, write articles, things like that. I've got to do a video showcasing how to write articles, right? Like how to even get into WordPress and how to post, like because there's a handful of people that have never done that before. So um, yeah, that's that's kind of where that's at. So, well, good for you, man. I want to let's check back in with you in like a month and a half or 2 months and see how things are going and how you're progressing.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I would definitely be down for that.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. You got a question or something that you want me to cover, please ask, and I'll try to make sure to get it in the next video. So we'll see you guys later. Bye now.